Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Gull'S Live View. I'm joined by Tom.
Good evening, lads. You all right?
Buzzing. I'm joined by Chris.
Yeah, hi all, how are we?
Buzzing. It's sponsored by Galaxy TQ. We've actually just recorded episode 2, and that is with Sheridan, which Dom really nicely booked for us.
Nice of him to do that the week they went top of the league, isn't it? Thanks for that.
Yeah, and the week he can't do.
Yeah.
But it
and
was
then
great.
not join us, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great episode. And yeah, we were a little bit out then, but it's really
fascinating
weird.
stuff.
It's really, really good episode. So, yeah. Well then.
Well now.
I've never known so much like aggro on. I think Talkie Talk. I think it was tagged in the Talkie Talk post, and there's so many people and there's so many great.
Just sit back
points.
now, Tom. Let him go.
So many great points by like Dave Caldwell and people like that, and there's been a lot on the other Talkie pod. But I'm at a loss. So I was actually going to let you lot speak first, but if you want to take it, let me go.
Yeah,
right.
You go on, Sam. No, go on. You start us off.
Yeah. I wasn't there. So you go.
Let's look at Swanee's view then. Right. So played Maidstone at the weekend. Went into the game. It might be a bit better. I thought absolute capitulation. Into that word. In the last league game, but we beat Hungerford 5-0, so really good. Sorry, there's no episode last week, by the way. We're all just chaotic. So many not particularly great things going on, so we couldn't do an episode. But if that gave us false hope, then it did. So we played Maidstone. Maidstone, I thought for the first half an hour that they won. A National League team would score the chances, or they put the balls in the right areas, and I thought they were above us. The game plan was right. Let's press Brett McGavin because Brett McGavin's run the game for Torquay recently, and he absolutely could not handle it. He was a complete thinker with it, really, and he didn't have any support either, to be fair. So they did their homework and they gave us no space, transition from defence to midfield to attack at all. Of course, we then panicked. The first half was shocking. One moment in particular, anyone guess what this was going to be? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Early card.
Let's just take this back a little bit, right? So there's a stigma with when you do a football thing like we do, that when you're criticising footballers, you're like, well, you can play football, so you're talking. These are young lads. So, right. These lads are paid professionals, right? They're paid professional footballers. We all have jobs, 3 of us. A lot of the viewers will have jobs where if we're not doing a good enough job, they're going to get shouted at. So the throw, Donovan throws it, foul throw every time, of course. It's a bit of a weird throw, but watching it again, it's to put it back to Ross Marshall. Ross Marshall's then done the most embarrassing miscontrol / pass. And then rather than just letting go through, he's grabbed him back and gone, oh no. And it's a red card. Now, what I compare Ross Marshall to is to someone who's trying to become a soldier, right? They're doing all the Navy, they're a big, tough man. Yeah. And as soon as they get to the bit where we've got a bit of pressure, it's like, oh no, I've shot myself in the foot. I've done it again. Or, or if he was a surgeon, it'd be like, I've done all my training, it's operation, it's a bit, oh no, every time there's a bit of pressure with one of these lads, they completely don't use their mind and they fall apart. And he's done it. Is this the worst Ross Marshall moment so far? I've lost track. Probably not.
No.
So what's this season? I think, no, I mean, he did give him a brilliant assist last league game.
The red card against Altrincham last season was worse.
Oh, yeah.
That was just brainless.
Well done.
Yeah.
Forgot that one. I thought I'd grown out of it. I mean, what can you say? I mean, House has obviously saved the penalty because it's Mark Halstead. That's what he does. But it's just, there's so many players there, which points back to Gary Johnson, who are getting worse footballers. Sean Donnellan, I really hate taking out individuals, right? Sean Donnellan, last season, he had stick, but I actually quite liked Sean Donnellan. I thought he could be useful. Quite a few good games and bad games, quite a few good games at times. And I was like, I'm in the south here, step up. He's one of the senior players in this team now. What are you? He can't pass the ball. He can't control the ball. All these players, they can't do the basics. What is going on? They're getting worse at football. And the performance, Dom's done a stat for us, right? Chris, Tom, do you want to read it? And this is my problem and why I point back to Gary Johnson. We are so bad in the first half And it really irritates me and offends me when a team then comes out, right, we're going to play football. And Jarvis missed that open goal, didn't he? How he missed that, I don't know. But, we're going to come out. So why aren't you doing that from minute 1 of the game? I don't understand. What are they doing? What does Gary Johnson say before them? If he can't motivate his players, he should go. If they can't be motivated, he signed a bunch of players who are not good enough. We know that probably anyway. And they don't have a mentality. And overall, I'm fed up with them. And it's an embarrassment. And how we are as high as 7th in the league, I do not know. Because just the amount.
So that stat that Sam talks of, this is excellent. This is courtesy of Statman Dom, who can't be with us this week, but this is an excellent stat. We haven't scored in the first half of a game since Dover away on the first half an hour, I should say, in the first half an hour of a game since the first day of the season, and we have scored 4 goals in the first half of games. That's through 11 games, and we have scored 4 in the first half in total.
It's absolutely mental. And
I think what I would say on the first half on Saturday is that we almost kind of sat back and kind of looked like we knew what we were going to experience almost. Whether they were ready for their style of play and they knew they'd push on us. But I think the biggest issue across the whole game for me, and it's been coming, and you look at the structure of the team, is that again, and we talked a lot about team structure last season, didn't we? And kind of the setup of the team and the makeup of the team. But if you look at it, I would say after the red card, I'd say fair play to them. They didn't bring on a centre back, shut up shop, and they tried. We went 3 at the back. We tried to stay in the game so that we could win the game. But the problem was, you mentioned McGavin just in front. Yeah, but he could have brought Hanson on and put him to right back and Donald into the middle. So there were things we could have done. But yeah, exactly. But you look at that, you had McGavin just in front, and that's been working, him taking the ball for centre backs, using the ball. But it was magnified by, I've thought a couple of times before, but if you look at the structure, the midfield is kind of like a diamond at the minute. So you've got McGavin at the bottom, you've got Lapsley at the top, you've got Collins one side, and you've got Stobbs the other. So when you're here and you turn around, the body in front of you is at the front. So when you're down to 10 men as well, that gap, the distances were just completely off. So the distances between McGavin, Collins just kind of drifted and just spent the whole time giving the ball away. The only time we looked like we could get him was when we got the ball to the right hand side, either Donald or McGavin, or through the process of moving the ball, we got the ball to Stobbs, and Stobbs' delivery wasn't good enough. The week before, I wrote how good his delivery was against Hungerford, scored a good goal. Last week, his delivery was really poor. So the distances was just all wrong, and that doesn't give you a chance. But the frustration I had leaving that game is, we didn't go down to 10 men and get beaten 1-0. We went down to 10 men and got beaten 1-0, and we had the best chances of the game. We had the chance Jarvis had in the first half that Covolan made a good save. The header, the header that Lapsley had, well, I think he did the right thing, but got it wrong. The chance Ash had, I mean, it bounced back from one of their blokes. I think if he'd have taken it round him, he would have scored. But keep it down, it's a goal. Their chances, at any level, you've got to take. But when you're down to 10 men, you're under the pump, you've not got a lot of the ball, you've got to take those chances. And that was the frustration. It was a game we shouldn't have lost.
In the end,
on chances. On chances, but on the first half an hour, if they'd had any quality about them, that's the other frustration. They had no quality about them at all in the final third.
A National League team would be 2-3-0 up against that defence.
Absolutely.
This defence and we still last season.
That miss by Jarvis in the first couple of minutes of the second half was key. If we could have gone in front then, we see it, don't we? So often play more when teams come.
The only player I will praise, sorry, Chris, is outfield. I just criticised the defence, but Ollie Tomlinson as an individual, I think he's
absolutely
well. Literally right now, Mark Holstead, player of the season, Ollie Thompson, Young, and that's it. No one's anywhere near. No one's done their jobs either. No one's hit the form. And also Ryan Hansen, going back to Hungerford, like we were playing Hungerford, they were playing that day. They played like not just one division below. They played like 2 or 3 levels below. They're awful. They got it wrong. And he can't do anything right. The lad just can't do it. Right.
I think the problem for these players is that you look at that bench before the game and you thought, what have you got on there that's going to change the game?
And that's
and the answer is nothing. And it's easy to criticise players like Hansen and De Silva when he's come on, and Martin and people like that. But it is difficult to come off the bench and making it, get up with the pace of a game when you're chasing a game like we were. What did he come on the last 10 minutes probably? And you've got everything you're trying to do. You're trying to do something. You can't just do the basics, settle into the game. Move the ball. You've got to try and do something. So that it's not easy. It's not an excuse because I don't think these players are good enough. But simply, I just don't think they're good enough. But it is difficult to try and impact a game. But you looked at the bench, 1-0 down, 20 minutes to go. What are we going to do? How can we improve it?
I think that was my biggest concern. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, couldn't make it for Saturday, relying on the radio and the highlights. But the bench is so weak, and it just goes to show you take a couple of injuries in this squad, and all of a sudden we look alarmingly threadbare. Asa is still coming back from injury, and you're relying on someone like Asa to come on and change the game. It's difficult. You're as good as Asa is in that midfield, and he's not getting any younger.
I was thinking, Tom, I don't know what you think about this. I was thinking watching him kind of, and again, he's not been fit. Gary said he's not match fit. He's fit, but he's not in that he's over his injury. But the more I look at him, the more I think he has got to be worth looking at playing at the back.
Yeah,
because he's tall, he's good in the air, he's positionally very strong. There's got to be an option for that. What season was it? He played a few leagues, a few games in. Was it
Wrexham season when we beat them?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
And he played in a 3-5-2. I can't remember where that day when Lapsey scored, and they'd just been taken over, and I pumped all the money in, and I just wonder if that's something we've got to start looking at. To get use out of him, to get him in the team for his leadership and his voice and his captaincy. But you just look at that midfield. I just don't think he's got the legs to play in there. And we've got other people who can do that. You can stick McGavin in there, Hanson in there, Lapsey in, Dawson. Hopefully, when he's fit, to get some legs in midfield. I just wonder if it's worth even in a 4. I don't see he won't be a perfectly competent centre back alongside talking Donaldson. When we lost 6-2, but that was a different day.
Yeah, that was very much I think if you spent some time working on it in training, I think that's got to be worth looking at. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Once again, it's recruitment that's killing us, isn't it? I mean, we're going to go into a lot of league games coming up now. Saturday, Tuesday, the whole of November. Yeah. I mean, I'm concerned, a lot of the squad's already crocked as it is. So you dread to think what it's going to be like at the end of November. Gary's going to have to bring some players in on loan.
We haven't got any loan players.
It's crazy.
We're middle of October. We haven't got one loan player. Crazy.
This goes back to Plymouth with an injury, and you think, okay, he's going to bring someone to replace, and there's just nothing. Now, I don't know if there's anything in the budget for that. I honestly don't know, but it's just alarming to me that
players down here.
The players aren't coming down.
But if that's the case, Tom, if that is the case, and there isn't the money in the budget, I have got no issue with that if that's the reality. Because we all work to a budget on all of our daily lives every day, and we do what we can afford in life. So I've got no issue with that. But a statement to say, look, actually, financially, we are where we are. We've got what we've got. This group of players is going to take us forward. I would have no issue with that because it's honest, it's transparent, and if that's the reality, fine. But just the continual silence, it doesn't tell you that.
Doesn't help, does it? I think the takeouts from me from Maidstone, from what I've seen on the highlights, Donlan and Marshall, it's two poor moments of play. I mean, the throw-ins poor anyway. I think from Donnellan, just throw it forward. Don't put Marshall under that.
The only thing I would say to that, Tom, and Don will moan at me for trying to defend Donnellan and where we're here, but if you look at that, if you watch our games, which we all do, that is a move we do a lot. That move is something you do. It goes to the right centre back. It goes to the left centre back, and then it would have gone across. If you look at the position of the 4, Donnellan, Tomlinson, Marshall, and Moxie, we've done that move a lot, and you move the ball around to the other side, you widen the pitch, it moves across, the spaces move across in midfield. So that's something we do. So Marshall should have. Yeah, I don't think it was a particularly great execution of the throw, but Marshall's got to be more alert than that. You've got to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just amateur, isn't it? It really is an amateur. How it's all ended, and again, thank God for Mark Halstead in goal. I mean, my goodness me, keeps us into the game. I mean, it's not, the fact that if you look at the average TORQUAYTALK ratings this season, I finally found them. There's only one player in our team that has averaged over 7, and that's Mark Halstead. Tom Lapsley's in second. He's averaged 6.3. Well, 6.3 is just above average, isn't it? And Bradley Ash has got 6.1. I mean, there's just so many players that aren't performing. I don't think Donlan scored more than 5.5, 6. I think our WhatsApp group, and Gary's given the likes of Marshall, McGavin second chances, but it's just, and I know Marshall's done really well in a couple of games, scored a couple of really good goals, but it's just at the back, especially, we just look so vulnerable. And I do honestly think if we didn't have a competent keeper in goal, we wouldn't be anywhere near the playoffs at the minute. We'd be lower end of the table in my book. Yeah, I just expect so much better with what we got. And we're going to have to look. I mean, Maidstone wasted a lot of chances. I said it a few weeks ago. There's a lot of teams in this division that are very wasteful up front, which maybe is why we've been a bit lucky picking up these points. that we've got already. It's just, and everyone's, we're saying, oh, Maidstone were the worst team last season. Well, that was last season. They're a pretty good National League South team when they're in this division. So
they'll be up there.
They'll be up there. They'll be playoff contenders. And
I don't think they were very good, I have to say.
Mm.
I don't think they were very good, but they will be up there.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Win would have been really good confidence builder going into the cup game. But
what do we think about playing the same side back to back? And that does that make it, for a cup game? Which, let's face it, that poll we did last week around what's more important, the league or the cup? I'd rather have 3 points and go out the cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of ways, but this season probably more than ever. But financially, we all know the importance of it. We saw what happened with the Derby game last year. So I wonder if it's easier or harder to prepare for a team that you just played.
It depends on the result, doesn't it? I suppose if you've won the game, mentally, you can beat them. Because there was a bit of needle, wasn't there, with their manager and some of the fans in Bristol, wasn't there? The radio was. I don't know what I was.
I didn't see it. I mean, unfortunately, there was a natural assumption that there was something racial involved, which I think was what Elokobi was suggesting. Although walking past, there was a couple of guys who were speaking to the police at half time, and I don't think from what they said that's not what it was. But so whether that. But again, what's the green there? 2,400 there last week. That's a really good crowd, isn't it? 110 from Maidstone. What's it going to be this week?
Ridiculous.
Knock 1,000 off that, can't you?
George, that's what Osborne is killing. 2,300 Torquay fans have seen the club play in a sixth tier in not good form, basically, and given that rubbish. And then that's the club that they're destroying. That is the club that they're destroying. And fans like me, I'm not much sure how much I can take of it at the moment. It's just a really weird thing with me of Torquay United at the moment, because I've seen them be rubbish most of my life supporting them. But now it's like, it's a bit like this, and it's like you just see them die out now. And it feels like the Gary Hours times for me. Where it's just the same mistakes every week. We have the same conversations.
Yeah.
Right, Chris. We have the same. We have the same. We have the same. That's true. We've had the same, problems. It's just frustration. It's just the same stupid mistakes on the pitch the last year and a half. Same problems about recruitment. The foot was dire half the time. It's no excitement. The club don't speak to you. The match day experience is not great. Oh, you can pay by card now.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
What in the food stalls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And that fell at the crossbar at half time. That was good.
Yeah, well done.
Biggest cheer of the day that was.
£225 he won. So what's the score going to be on Saturday then? Are we winning on Saturday?
No.
He's through to the first round of the cup.
I think we might actually win the FA. I think we won't win the FA.
We're going to win the cup.
Yeah.
Get on.
Well, I think we'll win. Actually, I think we'll win 1-0 and then lose the next league game. That's what we'll do. It's just football, isn't it?
Can't lose the next league game. Everyone's tanking Welling. Come on.
I think we're going to draw 1-1. And considering we've never won or even drawn at Maidstone, I think
that's a really good point. Actually, I
think we'll draw 1-1 and crash out in the replay. Unfortunately,
Brett Williams scored a banger at Maidstone when I was there, though.
Yeah.
No, I think we are going to win, because I think mentally it's an interesting one. I think we'll probably will win, and I think we'll win 2-1. I think. Forever confident.
But at least we've put 5 past Hungerford the other week.
That's true. Yeah, and that first half stat that we said is that Dom forgot those 5 against Hungerford, didn't he?
Yeah, come on. Hungerford they were nowhere near what they're managing.
And this is the thing that annoys me the most about them. Gary Johnson was saying he wasn't happy with the second half performance. How we switched off. It's the entertainment business. Fans want. He keeps saying it, doesn't he? Fans want to be entertained, and yet just the style of football we play, it's just rubbish to watch most weekends. I'll keep saying it. I think the potential of the club is massive if it's run well and if it's managed well on the pitch. And it's just tiresome to me. I mean, the only good thing about it is we're only 4 points off top. So if you look on the outside, it's whether your glass is half full or half empty. That old thing we had last season before it all went wrong. But I
I have to say, Tom, I think from a league perspective, you did hit the nail on the head after the game on Saturday when you said that the next 3 league games are key. I've said it a lot, and I said it to Sheridan earlier, on the second part, that we haven't actually played many games against sides in the bottom half. If you look at our next 3, Welling, Weston-super-Mare, Hampton, you've got to be getting those. They are 9 points. If they're not 9 points,
absolutely,
yeah, it's not even 7. I don't think really. You've got to be going to these games and you've got to be going and winning. Because if we can't put these sides away, we ain't going up. It's as simple as that.
We won't get playoffs.
He's got to bring players in. He's got to.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for joining us first part. We've filmed the second part. It was very good.
Part 2's got a bit more optimism in because it's got a Yeoman fan in it.
And I don't talk as much. Anyway, so there
Cheers,
we go.
Tom.
Yeah, cheers Tom for raging that one. Can't wait for the next one. I bet the next one we lose 5-0 away or something. Oh, she's on next week. Cheers. No, she's an amazing guest and she is a very good chat to compare the starts of the 2 teams and all that fun, and obviously talk about Frank Newell. And I get to talk about Jordan Maguire-Drew. So
that's worth listening to.
So
We've got a better record on the 4G than they do. Remember that, Yellow Army. This was a 4G league. We'd be
they're 100% defeat on that. We're just 66%. Is that right?
33.
2 out of 3. No, 2 out of 3. No, defeats. I meant.
Oh, defeat. Yeah.
So that means we've only got 5 to go. Then does it? If we played 3 already, that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah. Have that, Sheridan. Haha.
Good. Well, there's your optimism. So on that bombshell, as they would say on Top Gear in the old days, on that bombshell, it's time to end. So yes, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Banyan. Sells.